What is up YouTube, and welcome back to another video here on my channel. Now I'm back at it with another sewing project, and in today's video I want to make a black baggy wax studded denim. Pretty long word. I have like my first pair that was like my first ever denim, and I really like it, and it has its own purpose, but it's kind of really thin and really flowy, and therefore I thought for outfits I really want to make like a good heavy hitting black denim. And then recently I also tried out these leather pants in a Carhartt store. I didn't like kind of all of the design elements, so I thought why not just make it myself. But of course my domestic sewing machine cannot handle leather like this, and I can't sew any leather projects on this machine. And that's when I thought why not just try out waxing the denim. It's in the middle between like your normal regular denim and a leather pant, and on top of that I've never done it before, and I'm always so excited to try out new stuff, and that's why I thought let's just go ahead and wax this piece. Now of course before we get to the waxing we need to actually make the pants themselves. As always I did cut out all of the pattern pieces already. Alright, so now we can already attach the pocket. Got this kind of dot marked down here. And then on the top we just want it to be like roughly parallel. And I think like this is the perfect spot. Looks dope. So let's pin it in place. And now let's take it to the sewing machine. Alright, so with this we now have the pockets in place, and then we can get to the back yoke, and this just gets attached right sides together, and then we kind of flip it over and add the top stitching. Really simple. Alright, now with this done we already have the finished back panel. It looks really dope from the outside. It's not as pretty from the inside because I kind of tried something different, which is not making your standard flat felt jeans seam, because this is really heavy 12-ounce Japanese denim with like a really tight structure, and my sewing machine just cannot handle this. And that's why I thought why not for these kind of heavier and thicker pairs make like a thinner seam. We still have 3 layers of fabric, but I think a flat felt seam has like 5 or 6. So yeah, it doesn't look as pretty from the inside, but I mean it's from the inside, who cares. Let's move on. Next step is to make or prepare the front pocket, and therefore we have this lining for the back and then this like front cover. And first up we need to connect those together. Then on one side I want to add this little coin pocket, and once this is done we can then attach those 2 pockets to the front panels and then move on.
see how it's done. I have
Alright, so I haven't worked on the pants for a little while because of my drop for my clothing brand. If you haven't already, go check it out. I dropped 2 really dope pieces. But yeah, I mean, now it's finally time again to kind of work on the pants and continue this video. Right now we have the full back panel, like the full connected back panel, as well as the 2 kind of like separate front panels with the pockets. I think that was the last thing that we have done. Also have this little coin pocket on here. For the lining, we got this kind of like brown pocket lining. Now in the next step, we need to connect the 2 front panels together. But of course, we can't just sew them together like we did for the back panel, because this is the step where we also need to add the zipper and kind of like the fly shield, the fly facing. I don't know which one is which, and it's whatever. It's just this like front zipper part, we all know it. And this one is my personal least favorite. It's kind of tricky and a little hard to get, and I've done it so many times, but I always kind of mess up, and especially with really thick denim, I don't know if I'll be able to get it clean, but we'll figure it out, we'll see. I actually also have a different zipper brand for the first time. I've always used like YKK zippers, but this one is from Opti, it seems. And I don't know the brand, I don't know about it, but it's kind of from my local sewing and sewing supply shop. And I thought, I don't know, why not try out their zippers? I heard they are actually used for kind of luxury stuff and luxury brands. And the quality seems fine. It's not as good as YKK, I would say, but for my project should be definitely enough. So let's continue, let's get going and connect the 2 front panels. Let's get it. So this is now done. Got the complete front panel basically. Clean little zipper. It's a little heavy. It's really thick actually compared to like the YKK zips I had. But yeah, I mean, I literally forgot how to like sew a zipper, and I had to pull up a tutorial, and I actually used a different tutorial than I usually do. It was so much better. Like, it was literally so easy to sew the zipper, especially in the beginning. Like the last 2 steps, I kind of fumbled a little bit, and it doesn't look like perfectly clean, but I don't know. I think it's pretty good, it's pretty decent, and might even be one of my best zippers. And with the 2 panels complete, we can now attach them together. Let's get it, let's get going. Alright, so now that the belt loops are prepared, we can already kind of secure them with just a little basic stitch, so that once we attach the waistband, they kind of already are kind of below the waistband, if that makes sense, and they're already secured. And once we have the waistband on, they kind of get folded over like this. So yeah, you can just kind of clip them, but I always like to kind of give it just a little kind of security stitch so that they hold in place. Just makes the whole process easier. Let's secure them and then we get to the waistband. Let's get it. Alright, so with this we now have the finished pair. It's basically just like this really baggy black pair of denim. But we're gonna make it special, we're gonna wax it. As I already told y'all, we got this Otter's wax, which is just a brand actually. I think it's beeswax. And yeah, so I got my denim, got my wax bar. Then we also got this like heat gun to kind of melt it in and secure it. I also got this little blanket so we don't make a huge mess. Alright, so when waxing denim, in the first step you want to kind of clean the denim, and because this is like a freshly sewn pair, I'm just gonna use this little lint roller to kind of get off all of the dust, kind of remove the dust from working on the pair, and this just helps with keeping the waxing really clean. And then we can grab the bar of wax. Looks like this is basically like soap. Nothing too fancy, nothing too crazy. And yeah, we just rub it onto the fabric, I guess. And of course with this, you try to be as even as possible. But as I said, we are also using the heat gun to kind of melt it into the fabric. And this will also help with just getting a more even coat. And you can also kind of use your fingers a little to kind of spread the wax, especially when you have like thick seams or kind of thicker parts. The thinner parts obviously won't get as much wax, and that's where you kind of need your fingers to kind of spread it out and kind of get a more even coat. Alright, so now we kind of got the first section done. You really want to kind of work in different sections and kind of apply the wax, heat it, apply the wax, heat it. And yeah, I did this like waistband and top part, the yoke, as well as the belt loops. So now we're gonna take this heat gun right here. I'm gonna set it to the lower setting. You can even do it with kind of like a hair dryer. And what you want to do is just kind of like melt in the wax. Let's try this out. And while doing this, you should definitely see like the color changing back again. And with my heat gun, this really works perfectly. This looks so good, damn. And yeah, we might actually do a second coat. You can kind of do as many coats as you wish. And the more coats you do, obviously, the more you get this kind of like stiff and yeah, waxed kind of look. And I only have this one bar, so I'm starting with like one coat, do the whole pair, and see if we have enough, or maybe reorder some of the wax and do like a second coat. But yeah, let's see how this goes. We're moving on with the pockets here. Right, so I got a little less than half of the block left, but I think we should be good to actually complete the front side. And yeah, I hope this is enough. The front side is a little bit smaller, but yeah, let's just see how it goes. Maybe go a little bit lighter on the front, so that we kind of make sure we have enough. And yeah, I really hope this is enough, man. Alright, so I pretty much ran out of wax. Kind of on the back side I had like a really thick and kind of even coat, but on the front side I had like less than half of the bar, and I could only do like kind of like a medium coat, I would say. And it's not a really clean waxing, I would say, but I really mess with it. It already feels really nice and looks pretty dope. But I think I definitely want to go for like a second or even a third coat. And I think I'll order 2 more bars and go for like 2 more, not like real thick coats, but 2 more medium coats. And then we should get this really like leather kind of wax look that I'm going for. But yeah, I need to get this video out, so I'm making a part 2 for those pants. Not quite finished yet. After the waxing, I also want to add some studs. So yeah, I think we're gonna make a part 2 and kind of focus more on the waxing itself. So kind of like a waxing tutorial. If you actually want to try it out at home, it is definitely something you can easily do at home. So yeah, depending on when I get my wax, like next week or the week after, I'm gonna make part 2, finish those pants, and also give you guys a little waxing tutorial on how to do it. All right, but that's all for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching it all the way to the end. We're gonna finish the pair, don't worry. And yeah, I'm gonna see you in the next one. I'm out.